company cultures to governance, the importance of cognitive diversity to the DB Task Force's key recommendations. There's much to debate on a content-packed day 2 here at the PLSA's investment conference. And with the triggering of Article 50 imminent, President Trump in the White House and the possibility of European elections causing further economic instability, how are pension professionals going to navigate these choppy waters, and what new strategies are out there? The day began with the chair of the DB Task Force, Ashok Gupta, pulling no punches.
A critical time because the next few months will show whether we collectively have the appetite to address the systemic failings of the sector, which is putting the benefits of so many members at so much risk.
Ashok, the DB shortfall has been described as a time bomb.
Emma, it is a time bomb. It may not be a time bomb that goes off in my lifetime, but it's certainly one that's going to impact my children. And if we as a sector are going to behave in a responsible way, I think we need to take action now.
We as the regulator would have to be certain that these super funds were well organised, well run, financially secure, set up to last for the long term, and not likely to collapse into the PPF themselves in short order. And that is particularly challenging at the start-up point, because you've got to effectively have a critical mass to make a super fund commercially viable.
So the challenge to embrace a crucial new strategy and bring about significant change in a sustainable way. Familiar sounding themes to the team at Sustainalytics, who've published a new report for the PLSA into ESG.
Companies that perform well on ESG metrics generally have higher levels of worker productivity, better use of resources, so better resource efficiency, higher return on capital. So generally speaking, we would argue that companies that perform well on ESG are well positioned to compete in the future.
Business leader and author Margaret Heffernan, meanwhile, wants the industry to consider how to foster the very best working environments to encourage evolution.
How do we create the kinds of teams in which diversity and truth-telling is maximised?
I think it's really tremendous that this conference has put diversity as its sort of headline topic, because it signals that at last, maybe, we are finally moving beyond the notion that this is about political correctness and embracing the idea that collective intelligence is about harnessing multiple kinds of thinking, attitudes, experience, ways of tackling problems, and that's what you need for really robust decision making.
Alongside a diverse team, others stressed the importance during these unpredictable political times of long-term outlooks.
Don't be too reliant on forecasts. Try and look over the medium and longer term if that's what your job is promoting, and that's what investment should be about. And try and be disciplined about not being buffeted by daily and weekly and monthly events. Politics is a fascinating and interesting subject of conversation. It's very, very difficult to put the impact into markets longer term. So try and look at some of these long-term themes like demographics, like technology, and like world trade.
I'm a long-term optimist about global international capitalism. I think it has a great record. It's lifted people out of poverty. It's made the middle class more prosperous. I think it's made us actually more socially tolerant, and we've got better public services, and this is controversial. I think it's made us more compassionate too, oddly enough. But although I'm an optimist in the medium to long term, it's very challenging in the short term. You can see that a lot of forces have arisen that question whether global capitalism has been a good thing. Sometimes they question the capitalism, sometimes they question the globalization, sometimes they question both. And there's going to be a political argument about that. So in the short run, I think I'm a pessimist, and in the long run, I'm an optimist.
Having started with stern words about DB schemes, the day ended with another warning, this time from the FCA following its asset management market study, with a call from the regulator for improved transparency over charges. A day full of ideas, inspiration and research for delegates to digest.